Hi, how you doing, and welcome back to the video on the channel. What we have for you today is our preview video going into Game Week 6. We're going to take a quick review of how my team did in Game Week 5 and then my transfer thoughts and team selection moving forward. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. The support has been awesome so far this season. We've actually had a few new subscribers since the last video as well, so if you can help us out with that, it would be really appreciated. We are a small channel trying to grow, and it honestly does make the difference. Let's take a look at my team. So for me, Game Week 5 was not great to say the least, and Saturday was a complete disaster. By the close of play on Saturday, I was on 16 points, and it just felt like one of those weekends where I was losing all the 50-50s. I brought in Shada for Andreas Pereira, and Shada had a header cleared off the line, and all the players who I didn't own, who were like that mid-price level, were scoring points. So Diaz scored a couple of goals, Rodgers got a couple of assists. Smith Rowe had a shot that squeezed under Nick Pope. Trent got an assist and a clean sheet, and then almost scored an own goal but didn't, and that was another swing that didn't go in my favour. And Palmer and Jackson, they also got attacking returns. And to be honest, looking at it, it could have been a lot worse, because when Liverpool were 3-0 up against Bournemouth, I thought Salah was going to score a hat-trick. I was just, listening to the game, waiting for the updates to come through saying Salah had scored. And it never happened. He just got an assist. So I am thankful for that. And I'm also thankful for Haaland scoring in the first 10 minutes of Sunday's game from an FPL point of view, because it just settled me down and got some points on the board having captained him. And I knew, from that point on, I was all right. I got 29 points on Sunday. Face came in from Leicester City off the bench for 2 points, which when you're on 16 points, 2 points is quite a lot of points to get. So I will take that. Raya made 9 saves against Man City, and Saka got an assist even though he only played the first half. So my game week rank is not good. On Saturday night, I was actually 9.7 million out of 10.3 million for the week. And although that increased, it wasn't by too much. I actually thought after Saturday I'd be dropping out of the top 1 million from 11k, because the points are so close together. I was actually only just inside the top 400k, which I would have absolutely taken. And with those extra points, it's actually put me inside the top 200,000 again. And if you'd have told me at the start of the season, after 5 game weeks, I'd be top 200k, I'd have bitten your hand off. The points are so close together. I think my mate is 30 points behind me, and he's in the top 2 million or something. He's about 2 million places behind me. So it's so early to call, and like we said, we're expecting a red arrow sooner rather than later. It happens to everyone. We pick ourselves up and we go again. That was one of the game weeks where I was just had to ride it out, and now we look forward to game week 6. So the fixtures for this game week are looking pretty good, because it all starts on Saturday at 12:30, Newcastle at home to Man City. And you'd think Newcastle want to bounce back after defeat to Fulham. Man City are missing De Bruyne and Rodri, so it's a bit uncertain how that game would go. But I would still captain Haaland this game week. I just think sometimes people can really overthink the captaincy each game week, and a lot of times it's the obvious one that's staring you right in the face. Well, at the moment, Haaland is the obvious captaincy pick, so I will just keep it simple and stick with him. If you really didn't want to captain Haaland, I guess you could captain Saka at home to Leicester City. That's probably a good one as well. Maybe even a Havertz there, but he's returning a bit less than Saka. And if you still had hold of Salah, I suppose Wolves away, that's a good option. Maybe if you were feeling really brave, you could go with Diaz, but then you are risking that potential rotation risk, which, until he gets rotated, it's not a risk. He's been playing every game so far this season, but we have noticed that Jota has been rested, so maybe Diaz is next up in line. Possibly Ollie Watkins away at Ipswich. I think Ipswich are a bit better defensively than we've been giving them credit for, but Ollie Watkins does seem to be scoring. Aston Villa are starting to turn it up a little bit, so he is also a pretty good option. But for me, it's just got to be Haaland. So the team for game week 6 is looking promising, and I've actually made a transfer already, and it's not really like me to make a transfer early in a game week, but I swapped out Anthony Gordon for Mbeumo, whilst Mbeumo was still 7.1 million, and I just didn't want double Newcastle attack anymore. I'm more than happy to keep hold of Alexander Isak. I think he will come good as the season progresses. It's just a question of how many game weeks am I willing to sort of put up with him getting 1 point or 2 points until that actually happens. But I think he is a 20 goal a season striker, and he's not someone that I'm looking to move out of my team else, for someone else anytime soon. So the team as it stands is good. I think it's all right. But let me know in the comments what you think. Raya and Saka at home to Leicester City. I like that fixture. Mikolenko, even though it's Everton's defence, at home to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace aren't scoring consistently at the moment. And the Gvardiol and Robinson duo, I like that as well, even though both fixtures are away from home. I'm hoping Eze can score. We brought him in as a way of getting in for Watkins, but he's just not getting the consistent returns, and he's hitting the woodwork quite a lot. I think if he'd have, two of those chances throughout the season had gone in and be sitting on 3 attacking returns after 5 game weeks, people wouldn't be selling him. It's just one of those 50-50s that just don't quite work out. And then up front we've got Watkins and Haaland. I'm more than happy with those two as well. So I've still got one free transfer and 0.5 million in the bank. So let me know in the comments if you would do anything different to improve this team. Is there anyone you'd get rid of? Or is there anyone you'd upgrade to get in? I know a lot of people are wildcarding this game week. I'm personally not wildcarding. And the whole reason for that was because that was why I sort of rode out last game week. Because although my players weren't good ideally for last game week, there are a lot of the players that many people are wildcarding in this week. Your Rayas, Saka, Mbeumo, Haaland, Watkins. A lot of those players people are wanting in. So it was more a case of just keeping it steady for last game week. Now I can use a couple of transfers and save my wildcard for later in the season where, a fixture swing might actually affect my own team rather than just wildcarding because it's kind of what is the done thing at the moment. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you're having a good game week, or if you didn't, like me, you're picking yourself up and you go in again. Don't get too downhearted about it. Remember, everything is so close together in ranks. All it takes is a couple of good game weeks and you'll be shooting back up there in no time. Let's get to game week 10 and see where our ranks are right about then. So yeah, good luck in this game week and I will see you in the next one.